Hi everyone, this is Prof.Indirah Indibara from Xavier School of Rural Management this side, Xavier University, Bhubaneswar. Today we will be discussing about the course which is named as Rural Marketing Management. Now before giving an introduction about the course and what the course is all about, let me first justify the importance of studying this course, right? As a child, we have started behaving as consumers in our real life. For example, the other domains of business like finance or operations, we do not understand till we get to a particular age group or till we start studying or reading about management, right? But marketing, at least even if you don't know the theoretical knowledge, you have the practical experience because you have started working or you have started acting as a consumer from the very beginning. So understanding this subject is always important, obviously from the point of view of the business management paper or rural management subject domain, but it's also important because you yourself are a consumer or you yourself are a target for the marketing institutions that are present in our country, right? And second importance is that because you are already a consumer, I think and I hope that understanding this subject matter becomes easier for you because you will be able to relate it to your own practical experiences as a consumer that you have already learnt in your lifetime. So by starting like this, now I will go deeper into the technical or the theoretical meaning of what is marketing, what is rural marketing, and what all we will be covering in this subject. So what is marketing? Marketing has been defined as a set of institutions, practices, etc., which try to create, deliver, communicate and exchange something of value among different parties, right? So what do you mean by creation, communicating and delivering? For example, now a company is targeting you with a product. So that means they have created something new for you, right? There is a product which is being targeted to you, and let us take for example your Dove soap, right? So now Dove soap is the product that the company is trying to market to you. So they have created something of value for you. Now once they have created this, obviously they have to tell you about this product, that yes, we have brought out a product which will be necessary for you. Now that part is known as your communicating part. Now once the communication has been done, the marketer now has to fulfill the promise of delivering the product to you. Just creating and communicating about it obviously won't result in anything positive for the marketer because he is not delivering the product for you. Now once the product has been delivered to you, obviously the exchange will happen. You will be paying some price for the product. So these four are the key terms. What are those? Creating, communicating, delivering and exchanging something of value to the customer and also to the marketer and the other parties who are involved in the whole process. Now this is a general introduction of marketing. How do we bring this definition into the rural marketing domain? So what is happening, and till date which is one of the most disadvantageous positioning of marketing that has come into rural marketing is that majority of focus has been on how marketing of urban products are done in the rural consumer markets, right? For example, we are using the same theories that we have learnt in marketing and we are taking these theories into rural marketing and we are just trying to sell our products in the rural markets. So right now we are treating rural consumers as consumers only, and the reverse process, which is how we should be marketing the rural markets to the urban consumers, is not happening. And rural marketing management has to cut out this lacuna from its syllabus or from its purview right now. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to say that rural marketing management has now been divided into two portions. First portion is how your urban marketers or your FMCGs or the established market players are marketing their products to your rural consumers, while the second one, which should be gaining more importance, is that how can we market these rural products, for example your agricultural products, your handicrafts or something else which is being produced in the rural domain to the urban customers. So after dividing these two, the primary focus of rural marketing management should be on the second domain. Though I am not saying that the first domain should always be cut out. The first domain will be there because all the theories are being derived from the core marketing paper, but the second domain, which is marketing the rural products to the urban consumers, should take a more important role in your rural marketing management subject. Now, after saying this, let me give an introduction of general marketing, what exactly we cover in general marketing courses which can be brought into your rural marketing sector. So, normally we talk about STP and 4 Ps. What is STP? STP means segmentation, targeting and positioning. And what are your 4 Ps? 4 Ps are your product, place, price and promotion. So, let me first explain what STP is. Segmentation, targeting and positioning is a strategy of how you decide which consumers you want to sell your product to, right? So, what you do, you segment the whole consumer market. Let us say there are around 100 people in the market. So, it might not be possible for you to target all the 100 people with your product, right? So, you have to divide these into groups. You can divide according to age, you can divide according to gender, you can divide according to geographical positioning. So, there are many factors which will decide which kind of segmentation you are going to take. Now, once your market has been segmented, then comes your targeting. Suppose these 100 people now have been segmented according to age into 5 groups. Let us say starting from the age group of 15 till the age group of 65, right? Now, there are 5 groups which have been created. Now, it depends on me which target group should I go for. For example, if my product is a youth based product, then obviously I will try to target the age group of 15 to 35 mostly, right? But suppose I am targeting about old age retirement policies or old age homes, or some vaccinations will be going for children, and similarly these older generation or segmentation products will be targeted to those products. So, those groups, sorry. So, this is known as your targeting. And finally, after segmentation and targeting, there is something known as positioning. So, what is positioning? Positioning is about how you are trying to position your product in the minds of the customer, right? That means what kind of position you are creating. If you take for example Big Bazaar, then once you learn or once you hear Big Bazaar, then simply your mind comes to Sasta, Sundar and Tikau kind of a thing, right? So, that is the kind of positioning. If I am talking about Sehnaz Hussain products, then obviously a premium kind of image come to my mind. So, that is your positioning strategy, what kind of image you actually are trying to build in the minds of the customers. Now, this STP obviously can be brought into your rural marketing domain, right? The first core portion is how these marketers are going to segment the rural markets. Those can be done based on your SEC classification, those can be done on your geographical classifications, and those can be done on your climatic or many other variety of classifications which are prevalent in the rural domain. Similarly, from there you can select which kind of rural consumers you want to target, and according to their cultural background, you will decide what kind of positioning strategy you want to develop for those guys, right? But the challenge comes when we are trying to product the rural products into the urban markets. For example, the people who are there in the villages do not have the resources of doing a detailed market research to decide what kind of segmentation, targeting and positioning they should be doing for the urban consumers. They are completely dependent on other diverse market systems which unfortunately are not in place in our country till now. The first very good example of such market system obviously was developed by Korean who started the revolution, the milk revolution of India, and because of that the Amul brand was created, right? But that is only one of the limited successful examples that we see of this reverse marketing process of rural products into your urban domain. Unfortunately, other market systems have still not been developed which can help these rural producers to at least segment, target and position their products into the urban customers' places, right? So, that was your STP. The next thing that we talk about is the 4 Ps of marketing. So, what is 4 Ps? You talk about the 4 Ps are product, price, promotion and your place, right? So, what is product? Product is the core benefit that you are providing to the customer, right? Your customer might be feeling the need of something. For example, I am hungry, so my pizza or my burger or my rice or my dal becomes the product for the consumer, right? Now, this product can be tangible or intangible. What do you mean by tangible? Tangible is something which can be seen, felt or which can be dropped on your foot. The simple definition of is that. What is intangible? Intangible products are for like your insurance programs, right, or your banking facilities which you cannot see or feel or which cannot be dropped on your foot, and therefore there has to be a distinction in the marketing strategies of these tangible and intangible products. Second P is your price. What is price? Price is basically the economic value of the benefit that you are providing, right? So, how much the customer is willing to pay for the product that you are providing to him will decide what kind of pricing strategy you can go for. So, there are various pricing strategies. For example, there is markup pricing, that just on your production cost you add something and that becomes your price. Or there is competitor pricing. For example, you decide your price according to what the competitor has set. Normally there is a market leader, there is always Hindustan Unilever Limited in our country, HUL. HUL products are the market leaders mostly in FMCG domains. So, whatever price HUL will set, you will go along and you will set your price accordingly. And similarly, there are many other pricing strategies that can be followed, right? Now, third P is your promotion. Promotion is basically communicating about your product. So, you can advertise, you can go for discounts and offers, you can go for personal selling, right? You have seen salespeople coming to you and talking to you about their products. So, these are all your parts of the promotion. And finally, what is place? Place is how you are able to make your product reachable to the customers. So, basically it covers your distribution network and distribution channel. So, how you are placing the product near the customer becomes the fourth P. Now, after the general introduction of these 4 Ps, let me now again segment this according to the 2 segmentations that I had created for rural marketing management. First one is your urban products into the rural markets, where your rural markets behave as the consumers, and second one is your rural products into the urban markets, right? So, in the first case, when we are talking about marketing our urban products into the rural markets, obviously some shift or some changes in the product has to happen. Exactly the same product which the urban consumers are consuming cannot be sold to the rural consumers. One of the finest examples of this, or one of the best examples of this, is the sachet products or sachet shampoos and all that HUL came up with. You know that the economic capability of rural consumers is not comparable to urban consumers. Nowadays the scenario has been changing, but when the sachets were launched, the economic capability of rural consumers was not so great. So, therefore, HUL came up with the idea of introducing those 50 paise or 1 rupee sachet, so that rural consumers can also have these products consumed at their level, right? So, that is a product part. Pricing, again you have to take care of while you are targeting the product to the rural consumers. Obviously, you cannot charge a premium price for some product. You might go for different kind of product strategy which will allow you to go for different kind of pricing strategy. For example, pack size, or for example, the model of the product that you are trying to sell. You can obviously go for a premium model for the urban consumers, but you have to provide a basic kind of a model to the rural consumers, so that pricing does not become a challenge for the rural consumers. Third one is again promotion. Promotion, again you have to take care, because India is not exactly very good in the reach of media, right? TV, radio connectivity to all the places in India are not available till date, and that is why your TV advertisements or your mass media promotions might not work that successfully in rural India as they are in urban scenarios. So, you will have to find out alternative promotional sources, like you can go for nukkad nataks, you can go for audio visual vans, or you can go for billboards in your premium or feeder towns. There are something known as feeder towns. These are the nearby towns of the villages, where the villagers come to buy the things or watch movies. The cinema halls are all there in the feeder towns. So, billboards and all can be placed in those feeder towns. So, you need to know that promotional strategies also have to change according to your rural consumers. And finally, the fourth P is your place, which is a distribution network, and we all know what kind of connectivity we have in rural India, right? The road conditions obviously are not that great, but still I have seen FMCG companies like HUL, P&G, they have already reached each and every village of our country mostly because of their huge distribution network. So, to reach out to rural consumers, obviously one of the major challenges, which is distribution, has to be taken care of. Now, this was the first part, how you can market your products to the rural consumers. Let us now come back to the second or the more important part, which is the part of your rural marketing management. That is, how do you market the rural producers' products to the urban markets, right? So, So products, obviously if you talk about, then you will get farm and non-farm products. For example, your food crops are there, your there are many innovative products, artifacts are coming up, right? So how do you create a marketing strategy for these products to be sold in your urban markets? The problem is, obviously the producers are not self-sufficient in doing that. So the support has to come from various organizations which are present in our marketing system, and for that we know that APMCs and all have been set up, but still the reach is very limited and we have to expand on that. Now that was the first P. Second P is again pricing. Pricing also we see a major challenge in case of marketing the rural products to the urban consumers. It is a reality and it is not a secret that actually the farmers or the rural producers are not getting as much money as they should be getting, right? So they are selling their products at a very lower rate to your intermediaries, and these intermediaries are again then bringing these products to your urban markets and they are selling it at a very higher rate. So the price that the producers or the rural producers deserve are actually not reaching those producers. So market systems have to come up in place to build this system also. Now the third P, which is about promotion, again you have to see what kind of promotion strategies these guys can do. Obviously they do not have the money to reach out for the promotional strategies, they do not have the money to simply create a television ad or a radio ad and to sell their products in the urban markets. And finally the place, again because of their economic restraints, they are only limited to their local hearts and all, they cannot move out of their villages. Yes, some of them go to the nearest towns and they try to sell it, but again the place or the distribution network for these products are not yet developed. So as we see that for these all the 4 P's of your rural marketing, that means the most important part of rural marketing, that is marketing the rural products into urban consumers, have to be developed, and these people need the support of the present market systems, be it government, be it private players, be it someone else who can just come and take this responsibility, right? So even if the marketing of urban products into rural domain is happening and it's gradually growing, the reverse process has to be developed, which is not yet developed till now, right? Now after this, let me just go step by step what all are there included in the curriculum of your rural marketing management. So we have divided the curriculum into 5 topics or 5 units. The first one is about your overview of rural marketing. So basically in overview you will be covering everything that I have been talking till now. It's just the general introduction of what rural marketing is and how rural consumer should behave and how the rural products should be marketed. The second topic is about your rural marketing strategy. What will you be covering? You will be covering again the 4 P's that I have talked about. You will be covering your product P mostly in this part. So how you are going to develop a product that can be sold to rural consumers, or how the rural producers can develop a product that can be sold to urban consumers. So your rural marketing strategy will be developed according to this type of product that you are trying to sell, right? The third unit is all about your the P of place that I was talking about. The third unit is your rural distribution system. So again we will be looking at 2 different points, how your urban markets can reach your rural markets. Obviously the distribution network has been developed to a larger extent, at least few of the companies have been able to reach the rural market, but the reverse distribution system, that is distributing the rural products in your urban markets, has to be developed to a very large extent. The fourth unit that we will be talking about is your ICT in rural marketing. That means how information and communication technology can be useful in this course curriculum. Obviously one of the major will be for your promotion part. We can talk about social media promotion. We are seeing Facebook and Twitter and Instagram taking hold like anything. Even people in rural areas also have heard of these products, and many of them are using their Facebook, at least Facebook they have come to use about very frequently. So urban marketers can try positioning their products through your Facebook platforms. While talking about this, a very interesting example that HUL did was something known as Kan Khajura Tation. So what is basically Kan Khajura Tation? In Kan Khajura Tation, HUL came up with a strategy of reaching out to rural consumers of your Hindi speaking belt by usage of mobile phone. They know that the rural people want entertainment, because that time social media was not prevalent. This is about 2012-13 time. So because social media was not prevalent and rural consumers actually wanted something entertaining, so HUL came up with a platform in which they will give a call and they have shared their number. So the customer will just simply give a missed call to this number, and then they will keep the phone, and HUL will call them back with either a story or a joke or a song. So this way they could reach out to a large extent of rural consumers to whom they were not able to reach through television advertisements and radio advertisements. Now what happened? In between these jokes and stories and songs, whatever they are playing, they started promoting their own products. This product, for example, let me advertise wheel in between the snippets, or let me advertise some other product of my HUL. So this way they were able to create a huge customer loyal base who are still using HUL products, right? And the fifth topic in this rural marketing management that we will be talking about is about market support. We are talking about pricing and how the rural consumers are actually, or rural producers are mostly facing the challenge of getting the money that they deserve. So for that, rural credit and how your rural financial institutions can help them out, these topics will be covered in these 5 areas. So this was a basic general introduction and the topic by topic detailed discussion about how and what will be covered in this course. Now lastly, I will just like to make some comments as to how the faculty can go about teaching these courses or these topics or these units, right? So the first unit, which is overview of rural marketing, see, one common thread that has to be there over all the 5 topics is current relevant examples from your marketing domains. You simply cannot ignore the practical things which are happening in marketing, and you cannot just go for theoretical kind of a teaching in your marketing, right? So you have to find out the examples, like I talked about Kankhaju rotation. So that is one very practical example. You have to find out what kind of realities are going on in the market and how these real marketers are actually targeting the consumers. So practical examples is one more important thing. Second thing you can do is, obviously you can ask the students to pick up products and you can develop your project accordingly. For example, ask them to select a product and develop your segmentation, targeting, positioning and the 4 P's marketing strategy for that product. That will be that is going to be a very huge learning experience for the students, because they will learn how to use this theoretical knowledge for their practical exposure also. Third way is obviously finding out relevant case studies as per your topic. For example, there will be few case studies which will be giving you a general overview of rural marketing, 4 P's and all. You can find those case studies and you can teach your first item, which is your overview of rural marketing. For rural marketing strategy, that is product, you will find specific case studies which are developed for your product development stage. You can obviously bring those into the classrooms and discuss. Similarly, distribution, social media marketing, rural credit or financial credit, you will find case studies on each and every topic, right? Now obviously after this, your pedagogy, you can go for PPTs, you can go for showing them real time advertisements, you can go for in fact role plays also. For example, if you are trying to sell a product, personal selling I am trying to do, right, then you can go for a role play. You can ask the person to sell a product to the another person in the classroom, and then you can intervene and say okay, how it is going right and wrong. So these are few basic strategies which you can obviously use while trying to teach this course. I think this is the general overview that I wanted to share with you, and have a good and enjoyable learning and teaching this course. Thank you.